too.
I'll do that.
Good job. Let's go.
Everybody say, oh, noodles, happy night. Everybody, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh, oh, no. Wait, someone's here. Oh, hi. My name is Amy. Hold the table, please, please.
You're driving the go-kart. And there were lights, like traffic lights, around the track. And you got so excited because you said, like, I just drove through a red light. Like, it was like an accomplishment. Oh, God, that's funny. Just hold on one more time. Red light. Oh my God. I just drove through a red light. Oh. Hey, girls. That. I am sick as a dog. I'm all hopped up on cough medicine. So, maybe things are funnier to me right now than they normally are. But that's pretty damn funny. I just drove through a red light. January 3rd, 2026. Happy New Year. And happy birthday, little Muffin. Early birthday. I'm going to be at work on your birthday, so I figured knock it out right now. But I'm trying to keep my throat warm because, yeah, Dad got really sick. Whew. I was going to go snowboarding. So I went up to Breckenridge and I was going to go snowboarding and got up there and it hit like a ton of bricks. I was already kind of getting sick and I got up there and all of a sudden it was like the worst cold I've ever had in my life. I went to an urgent care and got tested for the flu and for COVID and for strep and everything came back negative. So I just had some sort of a bug, but my throat's killing me because I just can't stop coughing. And I've been sucking down Dayquil like you wouldn't believe. It's interesting because when you live a life of not drinking and not taking any, I rarely even take Tylenol. When you do take cough medicine, holy cow. It's intense. All right, I'm gonna try not to cough as best I can. Bear with me. I'm sorry. Okay. So anyway, happy birthday, little Muffin. So coming up on 13 years old. 13? 13. God. That's wild. It's weird because seems like it went by fast, but it also seems like, she's only 13. But she's 13. It's weird. You'll be 50 before you know it. It's right around the corner. It's coming up for me. I got something that I thought was pretty cool. So you know my little muffin tattoo. It's upside down, but that's so, yeah. Well, check that out. I stumbled across a website because I wanted something like this to take with me, to take pictures with in various places, because I go all kinds of cool places. And I've seen things where people take like a stuffed animal with them on vacations, and then the stuffed animal, you take pictures with it, and then you keep it. So I wanted to try it out. It was, I'll show it to you if you ever want to use it. We'll see if it's still there. Budsies.com. Budsies. You, excuse me. I'm going to have to get something to stop me from coughing. You draw a picture, and you send them the picture, and then they make the little stuffed animal for you. I thought that was freaking awesome. Which, by the way, I got to fix the lighting. I just looked at that. Where's the office? Office. Make it bright. Better. Yeah, I thought that was the coolest thing. So, Monkey, I haven't done yours yet because I wanted to test this out, and I knew Muffin, your birthday was coming up. So, I got the little Muffin. I'm going to keep that with me where every time I go on a trip, I'm taking that with me and taking pictures. So, I'm excited for that. It's the little things. I don't have much of anything planned for today. I've been so sick that I've just been clinging to life. That, Dad's exaggerations. But, whew, I had a fever. I haven't had a fever in forever. That was an experience. Because this might happen to you guys. I don't know. I hallucinate when I get a fever. Not in the sense that I see things, but I'll tell you, well, I do see things occasionally. One time when I was a kid, I had this crazy fever, and I was with my grandmother, and I remember it was nighttime, and I was struggling. It was a bad whatever I had, bug, but I had this fever, and I remember waking up, and I was soaking wet, and I was just in this like kind of disoriented fate, or I wasn't in my right mind. And when I woke up, I saw, it looked like, if you ever have seen the old Batman, an old series, Joker. This guy, that guy right there, I saw him, and he was standing in the doorway, like, I'm in the bed, and he's standing in the doorway, and I'm like, what the hell? And he starts coming at me, and I freak out and start screaming. I said, like, the devil's coming for me or something like that. My grandmother comes running in, and she grabs me, and she's holding me. She's like, you're okay, it's not there. But, so yeah, fevers can get pretty wild. That was an experience, but what ends up happening now is when I get a fever, and it's been, the last time this happened, I remember, it was 2005. I get a fever, and what ends up happening is, like, the room that I'm in, excuse me, appears to be gigantic, like it's a stadium size room. It's really hard to describe, but I look around and everything seems like it's really, really, really far away. And sometimes time actually goes slower or faster sometimes. But fevers mess me up. And so I was just slamming down the Tylenol and Advil to keep that down. And then the cough syrup too, which was essentially making me drunk. because of the cough, the medicine in the cough syrup. So I was an absolute mess. All that to tell you, I didn't really have any time to plan anything out for the podcast. So we're gonna wing it. I don't know. Look at a couple videos. I was going through your videos, obviously, to make the intro.
What do you want?
Yes, sir.
No, not yes, sir. What do you want?
I want a banana.
You want a banana?
Want a banana?
Yeah.
Yeah? How bad do you want a banana? Are you gonna sing for a banana? Alright. No, you're not gonna sing?
Yes, everything.
No, you gotta sing. Remember, you gotta do 'Cause I'm a rock star. Cause I'm a rock star. I got my rock moves. Why do you get shy when the camera comes around?
This was true. As soon as the camera turned on,
What?
you got all
Okay.
reserved.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Cause I'm a rock star.
Okay.
Rock moves. And I need you tonight. I'm alright. I'm just fine. And you're good too. So why?
Star.
Oh, getting teary-eyed. Okay, we'll pull it together. Oh, I was looking at that one. I thought it was cute. I don't know. What are we doing? Not looking at the Joker because that'll mess me up. We got Budsies. If you want to make a stuffed animal, I don't know. We'll see. What else has been going on? I ended up going to work as I was sick. Terrible move. Bad move. But I have this thing where I just constantly want to be working because it takes my mind off of things. That was an experience. One of the things I did, I went and got a haircut. Oh yeah, and I've stopped dyeing my hair. I didn't stop. I just haven't dyed it. So, Dad's getting pretty gray. I know it's like a vanity thing, but it's not so much the gray. It's because it's so patchy. That's why I dye it, because it's just like these patches of gray everywhere, and I look like a leopard. So if it was solid gray, I'd be like, okay, cool, leave it. But I see all these patches everywhere, and it's like, oh, we gotta clean that up a little bit. But I went and got a haircut. And I thought it was funny because about 6 months ago, I was actually down in the Bahamas, and I was there for like 3 or 4 days. Needed to kill some time, and I walked by a barber shop in the Bahamas. I walk in there, and it was as if the guys in there had never seen a white person. It was bizarre. They were super cool. They were super cool, super nice. But the guy gets me in the chair, and I'm having a little bit of difficulty understanding because he has a pretty harsh accent, and tell him what I'm going to do. But he starts cutting my hair, and then at the end of the haircut, he grabs the clippers and he's getting the edges, and then he comes around here and gets this edge, and then he comes around here, and I'm like, what's he doing? And then he comes around here, and he's doing what's called edging me up. And for black people, that's normal. You get the edges all around. That's a standard thing amongst black people. And I'm sitting there, and I've already got the receding hairline. Like, I don't need anybody coming back here and pushing that back anymore. Like, but he had already done this side, and I'm like, oh man, he's lining me up, edging me up. One of his coworkers comes around. He's like to about here, cutting my hair back, and the guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "What?" He said, "No, man. white people don't be edging up like that. What? The guy comes around and looks at me. He's like, "You don't do the edges?" I'm like, no, not really. No, don't really do the edges. And so I had for a long time, 2 or 3 weeks, it was evident that I had been edged up. So I go to this barber. I was in Miami, and I go to this barber. I again passing time because a lot of these trips I do, I hang out in the city for a few days, and get there, and I walk in and I see that it's a black guy cutting hair, and he nicest guy ever. Just starts chatting me up, and I knew immediately because it's like art. He was a pro at this, and he was getting every single detail. And I'm thinking to myself, he's gonna get the edges. He's gonna line me up, and he starts doing it. So you can't really see it because actually he got to about here, and I said to him, "Hey, if you don't mind, I got the receding hairline. If you don't mind, like just." Oh, okay, yeah, I got you, man. But it's just interesting with the cultural differences because that's standard. If you're a black guy, you get edged up. Looks good. For us white folk with stringy hair, not so much. So that was my haircut experience, and then I already told you about the experience with the oh, by the way, I couldn't really talk about it. The last time I told you we took off and bam, 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 had that banging noise happen, and then we did a what's called precautionary landing, not an emergency landing, a precautionary landing. At the time, they were still the FAA and the company, and they're all looking into what happened. So I couldn't really talk about it. That's all done. I was found not to be at fault of anything. So what happened was on the nose of the airplane, we have two doors that open up, and the nose landing gear comes down, and then these doors close back up. And it's just to make the airplane more aerodynamic as you're flying through the air. You don't want a big hole there where the landing gear is when it's retracted into the airplane. So these doors close up and the air flows nice and smoothly over the airplane. One of them came loose, and so this door is just sitting there banging away. And at the time, I didn't know that. I didn't know what the hell it was. So I had that experience and got through that one. Christmas night. We're landing. We had to fly up to New Haven, Connecticut. We went from Miami to New Haven and back to Miami. We went up to New Haven and what is called a bomb cyclone. It's a weather system. It's essentially a hurricane that happens over the central part of the country. It doesn't come from the Gulf like usual hurricanes do. It has every characteristic of a hurricane, including the winds. Well, that was just to the north of New Haven, and I knew that when we took off. And when I looked at the weather in New Haven, I'm like, it's going to be windy. It's not going to be a fun ride. Well, we got up there, and it was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. It was the worst turbulence I've ever been in my life. It's not even close. I was banging my head on the ceiling. My first officer was struggling to see. He wears glasses. His glasses came flying off. The people in the back they're muted screams. So they start to scream and then stop themselves. And at the time, I can't say anything to them because I'm working so hard to fly this airplane. But we're going into New Haven, and the wind is all over the place. It was wild. And we got there, and we're getting not low on gas, but we don't have many options. And this wind is over the entire Northeast. So it's not like I can go to another airport. So we're coming into land in New Haven. And it's a fairly short runway. Coming into land. And I get within like 10 feet of the ground thinking, okay, this is about to be over. And this huge gust of wind, a giant gust of wind, comes and hits the airplane. And what that does is it lifts us back into the air. So I'm looking at the runway thinking, okay, this is about to be over. Okay, good. We're almost there. And whew. And what that does is because we're traveling through the air and the runway is underneath us, well, there's only so much runway we can land on. And so it put us back into the air. And I'm like, oh no, because now if I go back down, I'm not going to have enough runway to land on. So I made a mildly poor decision, and I started diving for the runway until I realized that's not going to work. So I start to do a go around, like, all right, let's go try this again. But whenever there's a gust that pushes you up, not long after that, there's going to be what's called a lull, and it's going to drop the airplane. So you go up and down. It's just like the ocean. Same thing. Wave, trough. And so I'm starting to do a go around and the lull hits us. And so I'm pushing the power levers up to get out of there. And all of a sudden, whew, the airplane just drops out. And we hit the runway. Not in like there was no damage, but we hit a lot harder than I would have ever liked to touch that runway. There's only so much I can do. We hit, and I see the end of the runway coming, and there's not enough distance for us to land. And I'm like, shit. So I go back up, and we get back into this stuff. One of the girls in the back, why are we going back up into this? Or something like that. I don't remember what she said. She's like, why are we going back up? So we come back around, and I tell my first officer, look, man, I got my hands full. Can you tell them, look, we just didn't have enough runway to land on? And end up coming back around, and it was the exact same thing. But this time I was a little bit more ready for it. And come into land, and it was an impact. It wasn't a landing; it was an impact. We got off the runway and taxied in, and even taxiing was difficult. Parked the airplane, and the passengers were anyway. I'm doing all that while I'm like dying sick, so. That was an experience. Sometimes I wonder why I picked this career. It's fun though. It's a good time. Just get out and my knees start shaking. That's that. That was my Christmas 2025. The really poor decision. I wouldn't say it was poor, because the turbulence started like at 5,000 feet. And we cruised at like 35,000 feet, you know. We get on the ground and we're just toast. Like we just put in a lot of work. And call the company and like, it would be nice to get a hotel here tonight. We really need you to get the airplane back down to Miami. Okay. And I should have said no, but... and we climbed out of it pretty quickly, but we took back off. And takeoffs are generally not as risky as landings. Kinda. Yeah, they can be. But we took back off and just got rocked for about 2 minutes while we climbed up out of the turbulence. Got to Miami and enjoyed the evening. So, that's that. One of Dad's war stories. So, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I got nothing lined up. I'm sorry. Picture you in Palo. Good times. What else? What else? Let's look at the phone. Do I have anything? Usually I make notes on things I'm thinking about. Oh, that's right. Okay. So, I think it was the last podcast. I was talking about people who make lists and supposed check boxes for their life of what they want to accomplish. I had somebody ask me about that. And we got into a really big discussion about that. Let me re-clarify. Having goals is 100% yes, do that. Have goals. But in the same way I told them, it's like a target you're shooting at. If you have a bow and arrow and you're aiming for the center bullseye, well, you're going to aim for that bullseye. And then if you miss a little bit, okay, you missed. Well, try and get back towards the center. But you don't want to have it where if you hit the center, you're done. Or if you don't hit the center, it's catastrophe. That's what I was getting at. Because once you hit that goal, if that's it for you, if that's all you got is that checkbox of I'm going to hit the center of that target. Well, once you're done, what do you have left? You don't have anything afterwards. Now it's I've hit the target. Okay. And there's actually a book written about this. If you want to read a book, come on, fat fingers. The Success Paradox is a good book, and it talks exactly about this, about having those check boxes in your life. The Success Paradox describes how the very traits and strategies leading to success can eventually hinder further growth and cause internal distress leading to stress, burnout, or unfulfillment despite achievements, often due to a disconnect between external success and inner values, increased complexity, or an over-reliance on old methods. What all that's saying is, if the target is your ultimate goal, once you hit it, you feel like, okay, what do I do with myself now? Life will present you a series of challenges. And it's up to us to take each one of those challenges on. I'm sitting here thinking because I have a very good example, but I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. How do I put this? Okay. Let's say my entire goal in life was to be a pilot and to get married, and that's it. Okay, well, once I became a pilot and got married, I'd be like, okay, I'm done. But becoming a pilot presents a series of challenges that I have to face, and getting married has a series of challenges to face, and having kids has a series of challenges to face, and it's just a continuous thing. It doesn't stop. It's the exact same way as, like, if somebody thinks to themselves, well, I'm just going to graduate high school. That's what I need to do. I just need to graduate high school. And then they graduate one way or another. They just, okay, you graduated. Well, then what? Then it's just kind of, you're aimless. You have no drive anymore. I'm not doing a good job at describing this. I know that. But having that list and then taking that as this is the end all be all of me can lead to the success paradox. And in some ways that happened to me. It was, I had the perfect job. I had the perfect wife. I had the perfect kids. I had everything was perfect. And it drove me, that was one of the things that drove me to go wacky, was this feeling of, well, where do I go now? What do I do now? And so it is a something that hits personally because I've experienced it. It wasn't, obviously wasn't just that, but that can happen. This also ties into the belief that the point of life is to be happy. And that is literally the furthest thing from the truth that exists. It is the biggest lie that has been pushed onto people, and it has caused more misery than anything else, is that you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be comfortable. You're never supposed to experience discomfort. These people who call themselves professionals now, that's what they push on people. Anytime you feel discomfort, you need to disconnect. This is evident from the people that have been your professionals in this whole mess that we're in now. The people who took a couple weekend classes and then become a professional, their own life of not being happy, well, they will project that onto you and say, no, see, I don't associate with my ex-husband. So as your therapist, I'm going to tell you not to associate with your ex-husband or your father or whoever it is. Disconnect from that because it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's so destructive. There's nothing more destructive than that. The point is to take on that challenge and then better yourself as a person. The challenges will keep coming. Take them on. So, yeah, the success paradox. Not a very long book. I think it's like 200 pages. That was actually recommended to me by one of the good therapists. But I've had so many now. I think I've had like 13 different therapists at this point. There were a few that came and went as I did different programs. And then there were a few that I was like, I'm not associating with you. You got some freaking issues going on. And the thing is, to become a therapist, like people think, oh, well, this person's a therapist. They must know what they're doing. No, they go read a few books. They write a few papers. And nobody fails anymore. They don't. There is no failure out of school to be a therapist. It doesn't happen. Everybody passes. And then they go and do an internship with somebody who's equally as incompetent, watch them do their thing, and then they go off and become a therapist themselves. And what ends up happening eventually, regardless of the situation, is that if that therapist fails, if that therapist sucks, it's pawned off onto the patient. Like, oh, well, the patient was clearly having the problem. Nobody challenges these therapists. They just all tell each other what a great job they're doing. So, yeah. It's my rant on therapists. It's mental health professionals are the most destructive thing for mental health. We've never had more mental health professionals in this country, ever, and somehow mental health is in decline. What a interesting coincidence. So, I don't know. Do we go to YouTube? I have not been enjoying my YouTube feed. I just haven't been enjoying it. Yeah, maybe. Where are we? Now we're 35 minutes in. I got nothing. All right, fine. We'll go to YouTube. What do we got? Let's see. Get the conversation started here. Ah, jeez. First one. Okay. Well, let's go with the feed. Let's see. I gotta start looking up puppies or something. Wombats. But let's see. This ought to be interesting. Okay, what happened to men pursuing women? Well, I think we know the answer to that.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore?
The Me Too movement.
Put in any effort. It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to.
No.
Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal.
When you started throwing people in jail, not you, when they started throwing people in jail and destroying people's lives for making the first move.
Where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore.
No, the downfall was women being told they're strong, brave, independent, courageous, and brave and independent.
Don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more for it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you.
Okay.
That he would go.
So, I don't know if you've noticed this or not. We'll go back a little bit.
Why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't.
She doesn't blink. This person does not blink.
Put in effort anymore. Don't.
Oh, we gotta blink.
And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more.
Oh, we got another one. Okay, good.
Tiniest bit more for it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense.
Blinking is actually a very big indicator of what's going on in someone's head.
If a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you.
Okay, she's blinking more.
Because
It was freaking me
if a
out.
man persisted like that in today's dating world, he would at the very least be called a creep. And at the worst, he'd be going to jail.
Yep.
That is the reality that a lot of men face. So that in combination with the fact that women are not really reciprocating effort and they're not treating men very well right now, there is a large group of men that are saying that it's just not worth it. And they would say that women have asked for it. They have asked men to leave them alone.
True.
But guess what, ladies? They're leaving you alone.
Yeah. Don't know what to tell you. It sucks. But as usual, women have created their own misery. Sorry. If you want to be happy, get away from other women.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but just remember, ladies, single women like to keep other women single. I said what I said.
He's sexist. No. Other women will destroy your life.
When a guy says I'm fine, he actually means he's fine. Like, he could not be more fine.
There's 10,000 times more going on inside the head of a man than you have any idea.
It's true.
He's carrying burdens that you don't have a clue about. And he don't know how to express them. And he don't know what to do about it. And he figures if he puts it out there and communicates it, he's just going to be shot down,
Yeah,
called
that's true.
fool, called weak.
Yeah.
So he carries it inside. And you have no clue the burdens and the hell that most men are carrying inside.
It comes down to, if you notice those girls, they actually laugh when they say he's not fine. So watch, like.
Fine, he actually means he's fine. Like, he could not be more fine.
There's 10,000 times more.
They're laughing at
inside
something
the head
else.
of a man than you have any idea. No clue the burdens and the hell that most men are carrying inside and not even showing you.
Man, I'm 42 years old and I've got these beautiful kids. I feel ashamed to call on this line and sit here and cry. But I'm tired, man.
That's fairly standard. And that's a standard feeling amongst men, is wanting to break down and cry. But if they do, there's three subsects of people, like differences of people. There are the men that will understand and sympathize. And then there are the men that are cowards, the men that are just gutless and are striving to get the validation from any female they can. So they try to virtue signal that they are like the champions of women. So those men will actually shit all over the men that actually talk about their feelings. And then there are women who we don't feel comfortable expressing our vulnerabilities to women, because not all women are like this, but so many times a man will open up to a woman to later what will happen is those vulnerabilities will be used against him when she's upset.
Everyone can smile more, okay? Like some people are dealing with shit. Okay? And I come on
Don't
here
laugh. That,
and I'm like trying to
that fucking shit right there. That pisses me off. You're laughing at him? You're laughing at him.
some people are dealing with shit. Okay? And
Yeah. There's nothing funny about that.
I come on here and I'm like trying to like be entertaining for you, but I'm miserable inside and like I don't know, I don't feel like I'm respected at all.
Men just kill themselves and no one cares.
The first step in being a man is ignoring the hunger. Because yes, boy, you're going to be starving. Starved of attention, starved of affirmation, starved of love, starved of being told that you are enough. Step 2 in being a man is comfortability with replaceability. You are only as good as you are useful. You are only as valuable as you are needed by others. Should there ever come a day, boy, where you fail to provide everybody with a smiling face, then do not be surprised when they say all men do is take up space.
Anyway, you guys are going to have those emotions. You're going to have all those same emotions. And you're going to feel as though men don't have them. They do. As long as they're not a sociopath or psychopath. They do. They just smash them down. And unfortunately, and this is something very... I've watched a lot of men. Too many men. Not watched them, but they've taken their own lives because they're in such despair. They're not playing this. It's not a cry for attention. They just want out. I don't talk about that a lot because I don't want to talk about it. There's nothing I can do about that. I just try to be someone that these men can come to. But even then, they don't know who they can trust because they're afraid to talk to women. They're afraid that they might run into those cowardly men. And they've got like a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 chance of actually finding somebody who's going to care. So they just hold it in.
This transgender person is saying that God called them to preach the word of God and to be a pastor, transgender. But you won't believe what happens next.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes I even am like, God, why did you choose me? I'm weird. I am a transgender, gay, queer man, and you're calling me to be a pastor.
But then watch what God does.
Little did I know that I would detransition, be a woman of God, a wife, a ministry leader, come on, a speaker, an author, a coach. Little did I know that God would open my womb and remove cancer and bless me not with
That's
one
real.
baby, not with 2, but with 3. I'm showing you this because this is how good God is.
What's that, Satan? What's that? Look at that, Satan. You lost again.
Yeah. As far as why I don't want to, use the wrong term for anybody. I try to use, if somebody wants to be called he or she, I do my best to do that. I don't care. Sometimes I make a mistake. So it's a woman who transitioned to a man. So she was asking why God picked her. God picks not the most virtuous person. It doesn't happen. the biggest advocate for Jesus Christ that ever lived was St. Paul. St. Paul killed, I think it was 8 of the original apostles, and was killing Christians by the boatload. He was just wholesale killing Christians. He was on the road to Damascus, and Jesus came to him and was like, "What the hell are you doing?" St. Paul was the biggest, as big of a sinner as you can possibly imagine. The reason God did that is because other sinners are not going to look at somebody who has been a virtuous person their entire life and be like, okay, well, I'm going to be like you. They're going to think to themselves, well, you've been good your whole life, well, pretending to be good, because nobody's good their whole life, but you've been good your whole life. That doesn't, I can't relate to that. But if somebody is doing horrible things and then makes a change of faith, other people who are on that same path will see that and go, oh, there's hope for me. That's why God does that. Yeah. Which, by the way, St. Peter started the church, and St. Paul had been killing his friends, and the two of them actually made amends. Peter didn't like Paul at all. They clashed regularly. And it goes back to that thing of being happy. If St. Peter had thought, well, I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy, so I'm just not going to have a relationship with you. No. I'm going to file a motion. If St. Peter had done that, well, yeah. Now, forgiving people for what they've done. It's like rule number 1. You might not like them, but...
Now, what did you do to your ex-husband that led to that relationship?
Uh-oh.
I probably withdrew love from him, but he hurts me.
And you hurt him?
Yeah, I guess.
Don't do that. She immediately had to go to the victim thing. But he hurts me. His question was, what did you do? Don't start making excuses.
I do. He doesn't seem like he cares, though. It doesn't even seem like it affects him.
It does.
Of course he doesn't. Same strategy you use. He's just better at it.
Yeah, he's just shutting it down.
Because he's a man.
He's a man. There you go.
He doesn't know who to talk to about it.
There you go.
He doesn't talk about anything.
He's a man. You're like all shocked, like he doesn't talk.
Well, now I have a relationship with my boyfriend who talks about everything.
Yeah, because you got a feminine guy.
He's driving me crazy. He doesn't stop talking.
Oh no, I hope that's not him. Oh shit. Drives me crazy. He doesn't stop. So she doesn't like her ex-husband because he didn't talk, and then the new boyfriend that talks too much and drives her crazy. Okay.
When should I give up on somebody?
When they're not interested in you.
What if they say they're interested in me? They tell me they love me, but they don't show it?
Then they don't love you. They're not interested in you.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what people say. What matters is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
People can say anything, but what are your choices of behaviors over time?
What about like the showing nothing until it's about to end, and then they come in with the doing?
That means it was always nothing, and the doing is a manipulation. Their patterns are important. If their pattern is initially doing lots and then doing nothing, that's the reality of the pattern, is that was a facade and this is the realities.
Comics come from a certain level of torture or abandonment or whatever. You probably have a sick mom. Yeah. I can pretty much do that test with every comedian that ever lived has a sick mom.
I don't think she's sick. The doctor said she's more. The doctor said more. I'm not a doctor. I said, how's she doing?
No, but I mean,
the doctor
she
said she's
mentally
more
ill. Is your
I
mom?
don't think so.
That kind of sick.
She is more virus than host at this point. It's gobbledygook, but you're the virus. He's the host.
She's more virus than host at this point. True story. Yeah. My biological mother, off the charts mentally ill. And so one of the things that happened to me was trying to diffuse things through humor. And so I would try to interject whatever humor into any sort of uncomfortable situation. That's what he's getting at there, is that you try and use humor to diffuse it and to handle it. What is going on outside?
That when I talk about meeting my husband's needs, the automatic assumed thought is that it's just sexual. Or the only need a man ever has is a sexual need. That is completely untrue. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I've never denied my husband. I've never turned him down. I've never refused. I've always responded because I love being desired by my husband. And transparently, my husband's super sexy, okay? I desire my husband. But men are also significantly more complex than just lustful creatures like women like to paint.
Yeah, it's a true story.
For example, women will
We're just not going to tell you about it.
demand a man increase his emotional intelligence, right? What they really crave is that emotional vulnerability from a man. If you've ever listened to a man without interrupting him or trying to change his mind, you will hear from them that being vulnerable with a woman is a dangerous game to play. And women don't want to hear that because they refuse to take responsibility or accountability for the fact that they weaponize men's vulnerabilities. They will attack them, they will degrade them, and then they will emasculate him, and he will never come back from that. So
there you go.
Everyone can smile more, okay?
Oh, it's this guy again?
Okay? Like some people are dealing with shit. Okay? And I come on here.
I don't like that
I'm,
laugh.
trying
I don't
to,
like that guy.
Like, be entertaining for you, but I'm miserable inside. And like,
This guy's-
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm respected at all.
You never hit a man where he's weak. Never. It could be true, it could be real, but you don't hit him where he's weak because it'll turn around on you. You can get him to do what you need him to do.
True.
But you never hit a man where he's weak because they never forget it. It lives with them.
When a man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open.
I think it's listening to me.
To prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again.
Yeah, that's true.
And we'll start saying stuff like this.
I mean, it depends on the man. I'll open up and talk about anything. And I'll accept anybody with what they got going on. But I will keep them at an arm's distance. There are things that I won't tell them because, yeah, I don't want that used against me. But depending on the man, what is happening out there? Anyway, it depends on the man. The extreme is they completely shut down and don't say anything to you.
How are you? Good? I ain't good, but I just ain't telling you.
Big boys don't cry. Stand up, be a man. Take it like a man. Hold it in, suck it up. We train men to be silent and then crave them to speak.
All right.
How do you quickly spot someone's number one insecurity?
The first thing is you need to spot what they need from other people.
Yeah.
If I know what you need to be seen as, I know what was probably missing in your childhood. And there's 6 social needs that we teach at NCI University. And these are...
For me, it was success. I needed to be successful. I thought to myself, and there are a couple of the people that you know that are like this. I thought to myself, because I didn't get the love from my parents, I thought that success accomplishments would win their love. I always thought the next success is going to be the one that gets those two people to actually love me. It was never going to come. They're not capable of love. That's the reality of it. I'm not shitting on them. It's just the reality of it. They're not capable of love. They're completely self-consumed. But I thought to myself, I need to be successful. And that opened up a whole freaking can of worms.
Significance, approval, acceptance, intelligence, pity, and power. It's not that I need to be powerful. It's not that I need to be significant or accepted. It's I need people to see that I am those things. So if you're just in a casual conversation and you hear somebody say, oh yeah, I've been working there for 20 years and still everybody calls me up, even after I retired, they still call me and ask for my advice. That's significance. The pity needs person is one of the most confusing. It's not that they want pity, it's that they want you to understand how bad they had it or how much they went through. Our instinct with a pity person.
That's the one that will absolutely kill you. Because it actually pushes people away. At first it works. At first people will have pity on you and think, oh my God, wow, you've really had it rough, haven't you? And then these people who just desire that pity, they don't stop, so they eventually are seen for what they are, which is someone who's stuck in a victim mentality. And people start pulling away and going, I'm not going to associate with you. So, anyway, a couple more here.
3 signs that she is wasting your time, with the last one.
Come on.
Because I'm not worthy.
Ah, the chosen.
Neither was I. You do not know the things I have done. You know, that's exactly what I said.
So this is Gaius. This is the Roman soldier that makes a couple appearances in the Bible. And what he says here goes back to what I was saying about, God choosing sinners to be his messengers.
Because I'm not worthy. Neither was I. Neither was I. You do not know the things I have done. You know, that's exactly what I said. I'm an outsider. One of his favorite kinds of people. Someone who is not Jewish? Yeah. Do you believe he's from God? I do believe. Will you let me ask him? Pray to Gaius. Lord, my third boy is lying paralyzed at home. He has been sick for so long now. He's suffering terribly. Lord, you call him Lord? I am not worthy to have you come into my home, but you only need to say the word, and he will be healed. And I know you can do it, Master.
That's wild, man.
He loves our people. He's helped us. Do not trouble yourself. You can heal him from a distance.
So this was a massive thing. This would be the equivalent of you got Trump right now, who's a very polarizing figure, and I'm just using him as an example of somebody who's polarizing because Jesus was very polarizing. There were people who were his followers, and there were people who were out to get him, and Trump has the same kind of dynamic. This would be equivalent to somebody in that group of people trying to just outright nail Trump, going to him and asking him for a massive favor. Even that doesn't really explain what happened there.
Only a word of command.
And
truly
Jesus did it.
With no one in Israel
This is
have I found such faith. Go.
This is one of Jesus's enemies coming to him and asking him to heal his son.
It has been done for you according to your belief.
If you feel like your brain craves pleasure from lust just as much as it craves being a man of integrity, it's probably no coincidence that God put...
Master.
Ah! Little James.
Uncle James.
May
I have a moment?
I think we've looked at this one before. Last one. This is a good one.
I have.
James here, he in the Bible, he wasn't really, he didn't really have an ailment. They added this in. But he has some sort of paralysis on his leg.
Forgive me, I'm not always confident to speak. Slow to speak, that's a very good quality. I wanted to ask you a question.
Please? So you're sending us out with the ability to heal the sick and lame.
Okay, backstory. Jesus got the 12 guys together, and some women too. There were females who helped in this group of people he had. It wasn't just men. But Jesus had already been healing sick people, paralyzed people, blind people. Then he tells his 12 disciples, all right, I'm sending you guys out 2 by 2. So you're going to go out in packs of 2, six pairs of 2. And I'm giving you the power to go out and heal the sick. Go. Well, James here has something wrong with his leg.
Yes, that is what you said.
Yes.
So you're telling me that I have the ability to heal. Forgive me, I just find that difficult to imagine with my condition, which you haven't healed.
Do you want to be healed?
Yes, of course, if that's possible.
I think you've seen enough to know it's possible.
Why haven't you?
Because I trust you.
What?
Little James. Precious little James. I need you to listen to me very carefully. Because what I'm going to say defines your whole life to this point and will define the rest of your life. Do you understand? In the Father's will, I could heal you right now. And you'd have a good story to tell, yes?
Yes, that you do miracles.
That's a good story. But there are already dozens who can tell that story. And there will be hundreds more, even thousands. But think of the story that you have, especially in this journey to come, if I don't heal you. To know how to proclaim that you still praise God in spite of this. To know how to focus on all that matters, so much more than the body. To show people that you can be patient with your suffering here on earth because you know you'll spend eternity with no suffering. Not everyone can understand that. How many people do you think the Father and I trust this with?
What's he saying? Same thing as like the reason he picks sinners to be his messengers. He's picking in this scenario. Again, in the Bible, this wasn't there. Could he have had this? Yeah, he could have had some sort of ailment. But the point that's trying to be conveyed here is that little James, his suffering, has a purpose. And he's going to get through it. He's going to get through it. And it's his suffering that he's going to go out and show people that he still believes in God, that he still does God's will, that he still praises God, despite the fact that he's got a bum leg. The suffering has a purpose. And it goes right back to what I said at the beginning about how people have been lied to and told that their happiness is the point of life. No. It's the exact opposite. It's the suffering that has a point. Let's see if I can find this really fast. No, I'm not going to find it now. I'm not going to find it. Oh. Aha! Found it.
People need to suffer. It is an actual requirement of life. And is the fiber, the DNA of love. Real love, and true love, and in perpetuity can't exist without suffering. It's impossible.
We don't appreciate it.
Yeah, you have to have suffering. And suffering doesn't have to be looked at as a negative thing. It can be looked at as a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's where real love comes out of.
Yeah.
You know, all my suffering, there was real love in there. Everyone around me just in this recovery, or in a loss I may have had from an uncle or a grandparent or whatever, you know, there's real love that comes in that suffering, you know, even though it can be a lonely experience. I mean, I look at it that way and not as a negative, terrible thing, because it's just temporary.
It's just temporary. If you're suffering, if you guys are suffering right now, be grateful. I know that sounds nuts because the professionals and the women with the glasses who file motions will tell you that you need to be happy. We're going to get rid of him because he doesn't make you happy. Don't listen to those people. No, be grateful for your suffering. It's I know it's completely fucking backwards. That's the reality of it. All right, I'm going to get on out of here. Go take some more cough medicine. I think I might actually go to the gym. I'm starting to feel better. As soon as I say I'm going to the gym, my lungs are like, nope. We'll see. All right. Little Muffin. I love you. Happy birthday. I miss you. Know that I'm thinking about you 24/7. It doesn't stop. Is it suffering? Yeah. Yeah, it kind of is. Am I grateful for it? Yes, because it means you exist. And because you exist, you keep me going, no matter what. And I can never tell you how much I love you. Monkey, you too, of course. Which, by the way, I'm sending off for the monkey here today probably. But I love you guys both. Muffin, happy birthday. You are a teenager now. Go cause as much trouble as you can. Kidding. I love you. All right, you guys. I will see you in a couple weeks when I get back. Hopefully I feel better. I love you guys. Go out. Just like the guy says. Just like the man says. Love one another. Give your energy. The same way I love you and the